Hi, and welcome to another episode of Wine and Wisdom. I'm Thomas Le Hoang, and you're listening to the TL podcast, where knowledge is shared and no one takes themselves too seriously.
So, second subject, Cam. The bad Cams. Oh, sorry. Bad leaders.
Fuckwit.
Bad leaders expect everyone else to change, but they won't change themselves.
Yeah. What about it? Why
Mate,
are you looking at me?
No, mate. I sing your praises. Gloves off, ego aside, mate. I sing your praises when I need to. I don't think you're in that basket, but I think there's a lot of leaders out there. They do.
You don't even make that basket. That's
What basket? I don't fit in a basket, bro. Fucking hell.
You know the baskets they have hanging under the big balloons?
No, it's funny that you say this, right? About a week ago, I had a leader calling me, and he's jumping up and down, and he's telling me how his business needs to really turn around. He hasn't done great sales, done crap and everything. I mean, I'm close to the leader, so I sort of felt bad, and I said to him, listen, I'm going to cancel some of my stuff today. Let me call you back. I'm going to cancel the stuff. I'll see you tomorrow. And suddenly the leader goes, no, mate, that's Tuesday, mate. That's my day off. I've got, and I'm thinking, hold on. You just talked to me for half an hour about crap and almost crying about how your business hasn't been going well during COVID. And tomorrow's your day off? What is this shit? And that was the beginning of something for me, because that's when I went, hold on, if the leader is not wanting or willing to be going through pain, why would his team go through pain? If the leader doesn't want to change, why would they have their team changing? And that's so important. Don't ask for your team to be better. Be better, because the team will follow. Because in the last 7 days that I've worked with that leader, everything's moved forward. Not only that, but yesterday when I went through the team and asking them for their opinion about how they felt the team's gone better, everyone said since the leader has changed and improved, they have changed everything and improved. And this is why, yes, I do agree with what Chris said. Bad leaders expect everyone else to change, but not themselves.
Let's open a bottle of wine.
And
then I'm gonna undermine the headline of the topic.
Of course you will.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, mate, you can try.
Let's start with yours, mate. What is that thing? Tanunda, what is it?
All right, guys. Chateau Tanunda, grown off 50-year-old vines. It's 2016 Cab Sav from
another
the
Barossa, I believe.
Barossa Valley. Not a lot of research went into this because I'm here to tell you we've drunk local liquor at Barara Dry. This is the last bottle of wine from there that I'll probably be able to bring to the podcast.
Oh, why?
Price point, quality, everything else, we're looking at $15 a bottle, boys. So we have been through the entire bottle shop.
Oh, okay, right.
We have picked the best. That's where the Pools Rock Chardonnay come from, which is probably the best Chardonnay we've had on here. It's where the Cockfighter's Ghost has come from that we've had on here. I'll disqualify myself from the competition right now. It's a $90 bottle, this.
Wow.
Are you serious?
Well, was that, mate, or a $10 Riesling? So
that's a $90 bottle. Okay, stuff your bottle, mate. Let's start with mine.
Oh,
I've got the RB1. It's called Rockbare Single Vineyard Shiraz 2016. And yes, it is $19.95. The bottle.
Stephen Thompson, is that you? That you?
No, it's not true, but it's nowhere near
somebody
yours,
that I used to know.
It's also the Barossa Valley, but here it is. Barossa Valley is known for Cabernet Sauvignon, right? And we've had so many over the few podcasts that we've been having together. And RB1 stands for Rockbare, right? And this is the first time we're going to have a Shiraz from over there.
Okay.
All right? And
they got a bit of coronavirus.
Yeah, listen, mate, from what I looked at,
the Shiraz we had before was from the Barossa, you know that.
No, but it's not an RB1, right?
Oh, but it was the Shiraz from the Barossa. Just fucking put it
was trying.
for you, mate.
So not many.
It's the first one we've had this hour.
No, but you can't say it this way because everyone in the podcast thinks that we are sober until we hit the bottle.
No,
boys.
everyone
already told
shit, that's all.
Okay, mate, why don't you just serve these gentlemen here, man?
Can't believe we've ditched my bottle. It's
So McLaren Vale, let's have a look.
Can you finish your glass?
It's actually going to be very bold, not so acidic. Let's try.
Oh, it's got some nose to it.
If it beats the next bottle, it'll be very good.
Yeah, that's true.
It'll be an interesting social experiment, won't it?
The nose is not bad, huh?
That needs to air a bit.
No, just open
Mate,
it.
you don't aerate a $19 bottle of wine.
Oh, well, it's shit then.
It's a very strong Shiraz, I have to say. For
Lot
Shiraz,
of pepper in there.
very, very strong. Right, being a single vineyard, it means that all grapes,
Beat that.
the grapes that's going over there,
I bet that
is
without a problem.
all from that one parcel.
Let him keep talking, but yeah, my bottle
You
beat
beat
that.
that.
Fucking for sure. Hands down. If you
Which
you
means
lose
you
today,
win. Well, I disqualified, so you win.
oh, fuck yeah.
I'm disqualified because of price.
I'll take your $1,000 too.
I just gave you the win.
I'm fucking still taking your
Mate,
money,
it's
champion.
going to hurt without running.
I'm fucking taking your
God,
money,
mate.
champion. I'm telling you.
Just by the way, how you coming along with your training, man?
Yeah, we've had a bit of a problem.
Yeah, what happened?
I was training hard. I've blown my calf out, mate.
What happened?
Blown my calf out.
What did you do?
I was training.
It's carrying 180 kilos, mate.
told
What do
you
you
already,
mean?
No.
mate.
So here's the thing, right? No, hang on. None of you have ever done sprint training a day in your life, so don't even worry about
I
it.
sprint to the fridge and
Do you
back
want to
every
know?
night.
Do you want to know the science of it? The
Tell me.
The psychology of it was this: I did my sprint training last Tuesday, didn't tear anything. I played.
Did you do it with the socks that they gave you? What is it? The
Yeah,
sponsor?
the BCS.
BCF.
I'm
from
sponsored.
your sponsor, yeah.
Yeah, I'm now sponsored by Medibank, private. And then on the weekend, I played a couple of hours of tennis, no problems. Couldn't walk for 3 days, but didn't break anything. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to be able to do this because my biggest fear, you were worried about me having a heart attack. I proved that I'm not going to have a heart attack. My biggest fear was tearing something, and my biggest fears were calf or Achilles. And I bumped into, with my son's footy training, a guy that I went to school with and played a lot of rep footy with when we were younger. His son's in the same academy, and when he saw me running last week, he had a laugh, and I said, "Bring your boots, fat boy, because you're going next," because he'd put on just as much weight as me.
Yeah.
So he ran with me on Tuesday, and we did 10 15-metre takeoffs, and everything was fine. And then we got halfway through our 30 metres, and I said to him, I said, I think my calf's going to go. I can feel it. And we did one more run, and 3 steps from the end, my calf exploded, and I'm in a bit of
Strife.
froth and bubble, they would say, in a bit of trouble. I've probably got 6 weeks, mate, before I can even look at.
So when you started, I did send you a link to a YouTube clip. Do you remember what that was?
Yeah, it was injured.
Injured knee,
Yeah.
a tore ligament in your knee.
Yeah, no. You
Mate,
can't do your knee running forward. You
And
do that.
unfortunately, if you're a horse in the Melbourne Cup,
They put you down.
They'd put you down. I'll accept my $1,000
Oh,
gracefully.
he's going to take it.
Mate, there's no question to it because I know
we
that
haven't raced.
If the roles were reversed, you'd take it.
No, so we
Fucking
haven't
hope you
raced. You wouldn't postpone?
No,
They
no, we
moved,
set the date.
mate.
No,
They
the
moved.
date's
They
set.
couldn't do state of origin in the middle of the year, so
Cup-
they moved it to the end of the
Melbourne
year.
Cup's always the second Tuesday of every November.
Oh, I'll just
first
what I'll
Tuesday.
do is I'll get Indy and Isaac and Jack to take it out of their bank account and let you know that you're
I've got
taking
no
food off
pro-
their
I've
table.
got no
mate.
problem in that
Stealing from my
whatsoever.
children. No.
No.
I mean
problem
that
with
will
whatsoever.
that will teach them that always watch out because Dad will take out money to go and bet on illegal shit.
Wasn't
And
illegal.
I did message your wife when we were booking Muse. I said
I am injured.
when we eat at Muse, paid by Cam, the food tastes better.
Yeah, no. Well, Crystal, you know what? Crystal booked it and paid the deposit because she had a feeling
She
we
knows
were
you,
going to
mate.
lose the race.
You know, she knows you. Simple.
You know what actually happened? I wore footy boots for the first time in 10 years, and that dropped my heel probably an inch lower than it needed to be if I was wearing joggers, and that was enough already.
And you're speaking to a bloke who sits on the couch every day.
Yeah,
I fucking
no,
no
I
idea
can
what
explain the
he's talking
science of it
about. But
too,
anyway,
but
I just
anyway.
took the bet, mate, because I knew I was going to win it. So
You haven't won
Mate.
yet. Mate, we're not even past the
That's not
date.
good. Yeah, just write the check out to Charlotte for
Donald Trump
500.
won the election. Has he conceded?
He didn't
Yes,
fucking win the
don't worry.
election.
Everyone was writing on Twitter.
win
You
the
know how
election?
bad Twitter is at the moment? I haven't played with Twitter for a long time, but last night I thought I'll get on and see what people are saying about the state of origin.
Right.
And now they're that strict that if you write,
Yeah.
they wrote New South Wales won the series, and it was an alert had come up from Twitter saying a lot of people are disputing this. There was a fact check at the bottom of everyone's tweet, so people are doing it on purpose. Fucking hell. Anyway, we're getting off topic.
Yeah, off topic. Yeah, because I won.
Bad leaders.
Bad runners. I mean, leaders.
Here's my thing with it, right? the thing with the title, every individual, whether they're a leader by title or not, who expects other people to change rather than change themselves, is going down a long, dark, lonely road that is going to go nowhere.
Absolutely.
That's my thing with the title. We're talking about leaders who won't change but want other people to change. What about humans who won't change but want other humans to change?
Spot on, mate. We're a leader in whatever part of our life we look, whether it's to our children.
We're leaders of our own
to
lives.
Our partner,
Yeah, I like that.
To ourselves. You're spot on, mate.
We're
spot
leaders
on.
of
Absolutely,
ourselves.
mate.
And it was funny that we were going to have this conversation. I had an interview today, and the guy was of Indian origin, been in Australia since he was 10. And I said, oh, when did you come over? He said, when we were 10. I said, oh, okay, how was growing up? So it was really hard. You grew up in Northern Beaches, Indian on the Northern Beaches when you're 10.
Wow.
He goes, it was really hard until I worked out that everybody else wasn't going to change, so I better change myself. He said that to me word for word, and I knew we were coming here to touch on this topic, and I thought, bastard, how profound.
Fuck, you're not wrong, eh?
32, comes over to a country, and Australia and India couldn't be more different. I've never been to India, but from what I understand, growing up was real tough until I realised that they weren't going to change, so I had to change myself. And that's where I have a problem just saying leaders, because your staff or your children hear us say that stuff, they're going to pass the onus off to their leaders instead of to themselves. And they've got just as big a role to play as we do. I said to my staff yesterday that the biggest thing, I said, if something goes wrong, you got to take a bit of ownership, and don't fucking worry, because the first person who takes ownership with anything that goes wrong with any of you guys is me.
Yep.
And I'm true to that. There's no one that can question me on that legitimately, because anyone who knows me knows how hard I take any failures or anything wrong.
Yep.
And until we do that as humans, whether you're a husband, whether you're a wife, whether you're a child, whether you're a staff member, whether you're single, and you're blaming the world for being single.
Yeah, I disagree with you, man. Because
you're wrong. You're wrong.
Because you asking staff to think like leaders. They're not going to. All right?
Do they not lead
Most
their own
of the
life?
staff, they're going to work for you, and they are going to expect things to just happen.
Do they not?
That is within the rules of staff, right? Some staff would even say to you, "Oh man, I'm a little bit confused because I thought it was going to be this way, but it's been now told me that by so and so it's working this way." All these things are going to happen. Staff are expecting us to change. I think that the question you raise is very good. Let's stop thinking about them. We need to think as leaders.
100%.
Now, if they want to be a leader of their life, that's a different thing. But they're working for us, right? Let's not get them to be part of the change for our business, because staff does not always care. Staff sometimes just want you to change for the better for them to follow. You know that. We talked about an office that had staff totally down.
Disengaged,
uninspired.
Yep.
Yes?
Yep.
Like some staff even
Horrible manager.
2 seconds from leaving without even telling their best mate that we're going to do it, right? So we had all these things happening. What happened when the leaders engaged?
Yeah.
It feels to be almost like, that Tom Cruise movie Top Gun, where Maverick just re-engaged at the end of the battle and everything just goes back. Suddenly, within less than 7 days, the entire team re-engage. I think that's what we need to be asking. But staff does not care. We need to sometimes stop talking about leadership with staff, because staff want to talk about leadership when it's important and it works for them, not when it's not working for them.
I'm calling bullshit on you, because anyone who sees their boss come in late and goes, well, now I can be late, and still expects to get ahead in life is full of shit.
Hold on. What are we talking about? Is he talking about the
You're
same
saying
thing?
you're saying people can't be expected to lead themselves. Of course you can be fucking expected to lead themselves.
I'm not saying, but I'm saying in a business, not everyone wants to change. They want someone at the top to change. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying the people at the top shouldn't change.
So sitting down and telling your staff, listen, mate, it's not about me. It's all about us. And you. They don't give a shit, man. They want you to lead it. and they will just follow.
The context of the conversation was, this is upsetting me and this is upsetting me
But do they care? They don't care, man. I'm
care.
trying to say to you, your staff does not care about
was
when it
teaching them
upsets
about-
you.
you do.
There's nothing you can teach staff. Do you know why?
You can't
Because
teach them that
they're
they
not.
do-
No, they're not going to learn from you. They're
They
going to
can
go
do-
somewhere else, man. They don't give a shit.
One of your
I'm telling
lines-
you now, your staff does not
No,
give a shit
yeah.
whether your business goes well. If
not
it
about
doesn't
the
go well,
business.
they're going to go somewhere else.
It's not about
All
their business.
Now, listen, mate.
I'm using
listen,
one of your
we better
lines.
get some knives out because this conversation is not going well.
One of your
Now,
lines
right
is
at
you
this
do
point in time
emotions.
here, I'm
No,
telling you now,
hey.
your staff
One
does
of your
not
lines-
give a shit
One-
about where you're going.
They don't have to.
Welcome to
Right?
Wider Wisdom. This is episode
If
of
someone
Don't
sits
Know.
down and asks me, why do I feel this way, and I use one of your lines that says you do emotions and you're choosing to feel that way, and the minute you own the fact that you are making that choice, you're going to be a better person, you're going to feel a whole lot fucking better. That is the context of the conversation.
I understand
Everyone has a choice,
That's good.
right? Leaders have a choice whether they change or not, and if they don't change and expect their staff to change, then they're a fucking hypocrite and they're going to lose.
Yeah, right.
That is right.
So-
now
But,
we're
as,
going back to where I
as
am.
individuals, you still have
No, because the
ownership of
individual
your own
does
self.
not give a shit,
Well, then
brother.
what
I
the
disagree
fuck are
with
you
you,
doing in
and
life?
I disagree with you. However,
the individuals don't give a shit. They want their leader to lead from the front.
They do. I'm not arguing that point.
But that's what
it
you were
doesn't
talking
mean
about. You were talking about sitting
I'm
down
saying
and
if
trying
you,
to get your
I'm
team-
saying if your leader
You're full
doesn't,
of shit, mate.
if your
this
leader
is the
doesn't-
first podcast.
Right.
I'm gonna fucking have to shut this
No.
down because this is shit.
So what? If your leader doesn't lead from the front, you fucking give up on life. Pull your fucking head in, mate.
No.
If your
So-
leader's
In
not
your
leading
team,
from the
maybe.
front, you got to
Not in my
you got to
team.
run your own
Not
life.
in my team. In your team,
How
maybe,
many
man.
people have made
There
it
are
in
a lot of
spite
there are
of?
a lot of salespeople out there that will still push past a bad leader and still try and strive for the best, regardless of the leader.
The best
Yes,
people, the most successful
Right.
people do it in spite of, not
in spite-
because of.
That's exactly right.
They
However,
do, the best people. So what are
however-
we pandering? Oh,
However, those people will be elevated to another level if their leaders lead by inspiration and take them on the journey.
yeah, but
So
you're on a hiding
it's-
to nothing because the minute that leader has 5 minutes off, and those people go, oh, it's okay to have 5 minutes off.
No, because
Yeah,
what
they
I'm
do.
no, come back to what I said, because there's those that will work in spite of their leader.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Everyone should. He's
but not
saying they
everyone
won't do
does.
it.
But not everyone
No.
does.
And they're kidding themselves.
But the ones that don't are the ones we don't want. The one that does are the ones we do want. Let me finish. The leaders that are off and on are going to have issues in their business.
So what about so the team that was disengaged and uninspired, you just said the ones that won't lead themselves, we don't want them around. So does that whole team go then?
But what's to say they weren't performing?
Why are they disengaged if they're performing? I've never been
They're
disengaged.
uninspired. I never said disengaged. I said
You
uninspired.
know what inspired me, mate?
Uninspired.
$25,000 commission check. Fucking inspiring, regardless of what the leader was doing.
Okay. But how long can you do that for?
65 years.
No, but how long can you do that for?
Another 30 years.
And this is the question. How long can you do that for? How long can
it was
you?
18 months
And
and
how
then
long
I
can a
opened-
worker? How long can a
18 months
employee?
and I opened my own show, mate.
Keep going, man. You're about to get it, man. Keep going. He's a
I'll
listen.
stop there.
I don't want us taking the responsibility off the individual. And
No,
that
no,
goes
that's
for
what I'm doing.
leadership and the
But that's
whole
what
way
I'm-
down the chain.
But that's what I'm doing.
Don't give people a fucking free pass by just saying if you got a bad boss, you're okay to be bad. Because you're fucking not.
But
if
no-
you got a bad boss, do something about it.
That's what I'm not. That's
or
what
you're
I'm-
destined to the same shit.
Shut the fuck up for a second and listen. I'm not saying that if you've got a bad boss, be bad. I'm saying if you've got an uninspirational boss, a bad boss, and you're performing, what did you do?
Be the change.
Okay, what's the
Be the
change?
change you wanna
What's the
see
change?
in the
Be the
world.
change you
What's
want to
the
see in
change?
the world.
What's the change?
Every situation's going to be
Well,
different.
what's the change? So majority of people do what?
Which
Use
majority?
other people as an excuse.
No.
No.
Majority
Which
of people-
majority? The majority of losers or the majority
No,
of
no.
winners?
The people who are performing, what would they do? Resign, leave, and go find somewhere else to work.
Why?
No.
No, I
No.
fucking strongly
That
disagree
is-
with you there.
That is, to me, a loser in disguise.
No. It's
a
not what I
loser
asked.
in
Your
disguise.
opinion.
No.
A
I
loser
said,
in
what would they do?
disguise.
Not what would
I
you
know
do?
what they would
Thinks
do.
that by leaving and going somewhere
I
else,
know what they would
he's
do.
going to eventually find greener pasture.
You know what I've
like
seen
better
happen,
septic
mate?
tank to
No.
stand on, right? Like winners stay there and say to themselves, "How do I make this place where
How do I lift the
stand
place I
a better
stand?"
place?"
So let's say those
A
days.
winner, no, I've been there and I've seen it, mate. You know what a winner does? A winner goes and trains the team when the team's not getting enough training. A winner helps people prospect when there's not enough prospecting going around.
Yes.
A winner goes and talks to their fucking leader if they got the balls and says, we need to change. I don't want us giving people a free pass by
listen,
saying...
I was agreeing with you. If you have no balls and you're a winner, you can still go to the leader and make the leader change.
In a metaphorical sense, not in a physical appendage. That's not, don't. All right, I wasn't being gender specific.
Correct, Cam.
I wasn't being gender specific.
HR, I just want to be
with Cam. I want to be careful. I want to be real careful because I'm the owner of a business. You're the manager of a business. You're the owner of a network. We cannot be giving the individual a free pass. And yes, fucking leaders need their ass kicked if they think their team's going to change and they're not. Yes, but no fucking person listening to this who is under a leader should go, well, if he's going to be late, I can be late and I can be a success
absolutely
at life.
correct.
And then when I'm not a success at life, I can blame the guy who didn't turn up to work.
No, I'm sorry. That person with that kind of voice you just put on should be shot. Right? Winners don't talk that way, therefore don't think that way.
But that's
if they have that kind of a voice,
that's how their brain's talking because he must be a fucking moron to have that logic, right? Their voice
if they
might
are
be
talking, mate. Listen, I can replay what you just.
Yeah, no,
you just did it.
If their brain's going to them, don't worry, mate. You can be late because he was late, and don't worry,
I'm going to be
I'm
late.
sure that's what their brain's saying to them.
No. But that's why I agree with you. But still, a leader does not pass the onus of having a team to win onto their team.
Agree. Agree.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no one gets a free pass here. That's what I'm saying. Leaders shouldn't get a free pass.
I understand, but a team member shouldn't think that way, but the leader shouldn't even expect that to pass upon. Yes? Because, mate, that's too much of an onus to put onto someone's shoulder. A leader should really think at the beginning, how do I make this team win?
100%.
Correct?
Yes.
Now, if I have one shoot it.
But you're not going to hear their inner voice.
Mate,
their inner voice is going to go, I want to be a real estate agent and I like houses and I want to provide for my family. Their inner voice is going, no. He was half an hour late. No. He won't even know that you went home early. We should dodge you up some numbers on Wall because he'll never find out. I've got a nice suit and a great car. Don't worry, mate. They'll never know what you did.
A great leader will have the SMS to recognize whether you have the SMS. Do you have the skill, the mindset, and the self? And a lot of leaders are not equipped to look at self. They don't see the self in people. If you see the self in people, like, oh man, I want to do this, but I'm a little bit confused because like so-and-so said, shoot the prick. Because the self, he is an excuse maker.
Yeah, exactly.
He is ready to pass the buck on to somebody else. Correct?
Yes.
So if you are a leader who is worth your 5 cents, you would see straight away that this dude is trying to pass the buck on to you. I mean, and you shouldn't take that.
No.
That's where leadership comes in. You have to understand the SMS. We've done it a few podcasts ago where SMS is so important, and we're going to be doing it next week in a conference. A leader has to have the ability to sit down as they talking to salespeople, like the guy who's going to say, oh man, I don't know, I'm just confused. Can you just clarify this with me?
We've both got the same voice.
No, we don't have both the same
Your
voice.
loser's as good as my loser. Imagine our losers in a conversation.
So, mate, I thought I understood it this way. So why when I said it this way, blah, 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 so-and-so told me this way?
Oh, don't worry, mate, I get it because they said the same thing to me and I just think,
But why is it that they have that kind of voice?
It's the angel and demon on the shoulder, right?
No, because every sheep look the same. I'm sorry, man. This is how it works. Yeah. If you really pay attention to stuff, I know people are gonna dislike it a whole lot, but we can't be more disliked than the Bolt report. So right now, I'm gonna tell you, they all sound the same. Winners always sound the same. It's the same with losers. They all sound the same.
There's a reason we have the same, we've talked before about what we look for in a recruit, and one of the things that comes up is, do they ask when home time is? There's a reason that is the same across the board, and that's because all losers look the same.
Yeah.
They wear a different shirt. They might have a different cologne on, but at the end of the day,
Misery loves company.
They have the same beard.
they have the same beard. And
Which, by the way, you've got a nice beard. I really like. Are you doing Movember? Is that what you're doing?
No. I midlife crisis, mate.
Tough
I've done a lot
ender.
of stuff in the last 2 weeks.
I have to say, it actually does fit you because before that, I thought that you.
I gave up trying to lose weight, and then I thought if I get a beard, I'll look skinnier.
You look older. Actually, you look older.
You look so much better. I don't know with the running whether it's going to stop you, slow you down. But
You look a little bit skinnier. We know you're not, but you look a little bit skinnier.
yeah, because we can all put it to the beard.
Mate, 2 hours of tennis on the weekend.
2 hours.
3 heart attacks. And
How much did you watch? 2 hours.
yeah, it was
Is it on TV?
He's done very well. He's done very well. So listen, it's fantastic to talk about these things, but a lot of people don't recognize it. I am starting to see, as we do a lot more recruiting for the moment, because there's plenty of great recruits coming through the system.
There's a pattern.
There's a pattern.
trend.
Losers have got the pattern. And the pattern is this. They will always blame somebody else for their shortcoming.
Mm-hmm.
Where winners blame nobody else but themselves.
As soon as I hear an excuse, mate, soon as you hear an excuse, you go, fuck, here we go again. And
But why do you go through that? Why don't you just fire the person?
we're getting better at that too. We're getting better.
But you should. Listen, and I see
The
that.
reason is, let me answer actually, because I've got maybe a good answer for that.
Somewhere in your life.
The first thing I do is not go, I should fire them. First thing I do personally is go, where have I fucked up? So if that process takes a day, a week,
Whatever it may be.
not whatever it may be, because I've been guilty of that in the past too, where the answer's staring me straight in the face, which is you got to go. But I second guessed, and I was being too introspective, if anything. The reason they don't go on the spot as soon as you hear an excuse is because we sit there as a management team and a leadership group and go, where have we gone wrong, and what's changed from their interview or their opportunity day or the recruit course, or where have we gone wrong? That's why it can't be I'm just going to sack everybody who we get an inkling of on the spot, because that falls back to not changing yourself and expecting everyone else to change. You're not going to learn from leadership if it turns out you do a good analysis and an honest appraisal and it works out, no, back to your thing in the last podcast about I think I did everything I could to help this guy understand the offer. If that's the end result, then sorry, time to go. But if you don't even ask yourself the question, is this my fuck up or their fuck up? And even if it is their fuck up, can it be reconciled? Then that's why you don't sack everybody straight away.
But I think the evolution of recruitment, which we've all gone down, is I think the first thing that you say in the book is don't hire people to motivate, hire motivated people.
Yeah.
Number one. So with those people who really want to succeed, number one. Number two.
But everyone can fake it for a day, Chriso, and I've been caught out a couple of times. And whether it's not been doing the opportunity day 100% right.
Yep.
One thing I didn't do well enough, which is surprising for a guy like me, is throw out the first conflict, right?
Yep.
For a guy who loves it as much as I do, or appears to love it as much as I do, not putting someone under that pressure on their opportunity day is a clear fact that I can say hasn't happened well enough.
But I think also you get to a point that you know the people that you need to push a little bit further. Those people with the egos, where as they come in, you need to push their buttons a little bit more to see how they respond.
You still need to sort out on day one whether they can handle you having a bad day.
No.
If nothing else, right?
But no, what I'm saying is you've got to do that first, the conflict with everyone.
Yeah.
But there's a few that you need to push it a little bit further to really push their buttons to see how they're going to handle it. It's come full 360 for myself just recently with someone who's replied with Thomas for a job, and they've come back and said, oh, well, such and such and such and such about myself. But our first conflict was...
Is a grub shit wine.
Was to a stage where I said, mate, well, I don't think this job's for you. I'll see you later. Thanks for coming in, and asked him to leave. Now, obviously, he's had bad words to say later on, and we're talking about 18 months later. But that day, I remember quite vividly that I knew I had to push this guy a little bit further because his ego was huge. So I needed to have that first conflict a little bit further than I would with normal.
There's levels of it, but the point is
exactly right.
The point is doing that, and that's, I mean, if we're not following that process properly or what we've been taught to do, then it's a bit naive to not expect problems on the other end. And every time you go, fuck, that's why.
But coming back to what we were saying before about what bad leaders expect everyone else to change is that, though, Cam, this is the evolution of yourself. Is you are self-analysing. You look at yourself and go, what have I done wrong? What can I do better? Which is good, right? Yes, you made a bet that you're going to fucking lose. I understand.
Listen, mate, if you have lost 153 people,
Now we're talking about COVID numbers.
We did a
Did you know that
You know
in front
what,
of his
some
office?
people-
In
You
front
know
of his
what-
office, he's got those white flags.
I'll
He's
stop you.
planting.
we did a thing. We did.
Hang on. I'll fucking stop. You lost someone recently, right? I called him. I was fucking dumbfounded, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely gobsmacked.
Yeah.
I've called this person and offered him a fucking job because I need the person in my office, right? Because their linguistic skills.
Told you he was dodging his numbers up, bro.
Forget that. He just fucking didn't want a job. He goes, oh, no, I just want to take it easy. I've gone, here I am. You've just left one person. I'll give you open doors. Here's an office and a desk. Come and start punching out some numbers, book me appointments. Just wasn't interested. I was absolutely gobsmacked.
You were offering him the same job which he left, mate. That's the thing. And I said that to you. He wanted to be further ahead than he was. And, we hired some people and put someone in above him, and he wasn't going to cop that, which is fine. I mean, we talk about people who want drive and ambition. That's sweet as, mate. But I did tell you. Like,
Oh, no. It's all good, man. It's nothing coming back to you or whatever.
No.
Thanks for the heads up. But what I'm saying is I was absolutely just dumbfounded the fact that he was blatantly going, nah, don't want to work. He's unemployed. And we're giving him an opportunity. For me, that's just, I can't comprehend that.
it's interesting too. You were talking about being introspective, and we're having a joke about it, but I am by nature that type of person. And,
Yeah.
Thomas jokes about me losing 153 people. It's only 151, right? Because I'm introspective and I
2
count
kilos.
these things. But we actually got to be aware of the effect that has on other people in your office who have been long serving as well. It's something I've noticed recently with the core group that we do have. And the other thing is, when we went through it, the first group that we ever hired was a fucking great group of people, and I got no qualms in saying that I burnt them. That was a me thing. The second group that we had was a recruitment fault, again, of my own, because I saw the glittering lights of people with sales experience and not fresh to the industry as such, and overlooked some glaring things in the recruitment process.
That nurturing process.
Well, that was
and
trying
so
to take a
forth.
shortcut, you know. I'm
absolutely.
like, fuck, it'd be great to... And look, I hope no one gets offended that's listening, but it would be great occasionally for a guy who walks in who writes $1 million a year to just walk in and sit at a desk and go to work for you without you having to go through the whole process of spending 12 months training them up, right?
Pause you there.
So then I've gone back because I've realised those fucking brilliant people I had at the start, and I still love them dearly. I fucked that up. The second group, I fucked that up too, but I fucked them up by hiring. That was the fuck up. And this time round, I've gone back to what we're actually trying to do. I tried to change the system. I ignored my gut.
You still haven't proven me wrong.
I ignored my gut, right? I ignored my gut, and I went, my gut's telling me something's not right with this person, this person, this person. I still fucking gave him a job. So
But
can't...
you know what? Coming back to what was the pretense of this podcast is to start with, you have that $1 million performer that sits down at their desk. You find that person. Now, again, it comes back to that leader that can actually fuck that up.
100%.
A
100%.
leader can fuck that up big time.
Mate, you give a bad leader a Formula One, he'll crash it.
And that's the thing. And
Lance Stroll.
And that's a great thing, Cam, you're introspective. And we've had this conversation, and there's no ego. I'll tell you straight out, mate, you make a mistake and you analyse that and try to stop doing it again.
Try.
But there's a lot.
No, I like actually, he tested again.
Just to make sure.
I run it into the wall a second time.
Unlike the COVID vaccination, I like to give it to 12 million people before I decide whether it's going to work.
I fucked up one calf muscle. I'll see if I can do the second one
I'll
as
still
well.
run. You're 100% right.
Now, some leaders, and like some of us do know them, some leaders, they like the those insects. You know, what is that insects where the
female eats the male after they mate.
Yeah.
The praying mantis.
Yeah, she's getting the seeds into her.
She gets the pleasure, then she gets
while
the feed.
she's eating. That some leaders do that. So what I'm trying to talk about is.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Listen, I'm trying to use Chinese analogies of.
Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, that's right. Where you
like
speak,
Kung Fu Panda.
where you speak without pointing the finger at anyone, but as you
so
speak
lucky this is
about
a podcast,
everything, every finger he's pointing at them, and you know this is the bit.
I've got
Some
insects.
leaders, they know they have to change, but they want the team to change at the same pace they're changing, and that is the mistake.
Okay, so I ask you this.
Yeah, no, it's fucking good. because I fall. Yeah, 100%.
What do you reckon about that one?
Yeah, that was good. You got there in the end. It took about as long as
I'm not talking about you, brother.
It took as long as one of the bottles in Chris's garage to get there.
Will you fucking leave my garage?
No.
I'm not your fucking punching bag.
There's a thing where, and I've been guilty of it, and you've actually seen it on a personal level with my family, where I go, I've read a book and I'm fucking awesome now. Why aren't the rest of you fucking awesome? Right? I told you to read the book. You can't expect people who aren't on the same path as you to be on the same path as you.
Right.
That's the point. And it's a trap that we all fall into. I'm a legend now, so why aren't you a legend? Oh, hang on. It's taken me 38 years and 452 million fuck-ups and
42,000 million litres of Chardonnay.
Yeah, to get to where I am. Why aren't these 21-year-olds where I am? It's a massive thing, mate.
Different journey. Everyone's got their own journey. But I ask you this, Thomas. Are there leaders that have $1 million performers sitting behind a desk but are writing $200,000-$400,000?
Oh, mate, come on. Every day. Like, I believe there are horses right now in stables that should or would have won the Melbourne Cup, but did not grow to their full potential. You know, I guarantee you that it happens all the time. The problem is it all boils down to the quality of the leader. The leader really makes a huge decision on which horse runs at the Melbourne Cup.
There was a fucking huge example of that last night. I know we're going to talk.
We're going to talk about that soon, man. So
that was
So are we finished with this? Let's finish with this.
I think so.
Thanks very much, boys. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.